Okay. So last weekend, Steve, Barton, and myself gathered in Dallas with 550 other male Beachbody coaches. We had visits from Carl, who flew in all of a sudden. We had Gary Vee there. We had Green Beret speaking, Bo Eason, and all the other top Beachbody coaches. And Barton wanted to mislead everyone by saying he had the secret sauce to how to build the business. Because in reality, what we heard over those 2 days was awesome, but it was also very simple in what they shared. When I went in there, the first day was all focused on just sharing your story and finding your story, being passionate about it, and sharing multiple versions of it on Facebook. And David Ingram gave a great talk where he talked about his story in the corporate world and how he started sharing that with other people. And by doing that, he connected with his tribe. And he put 3 parts to your post. He said every post should have your challenge, your struggle, and your triumph. And that every single post you do should include those scenarios in order to be authentic and be passionate about who you are, where you're going, where you've been, to really build those people up around you. And later on the second day, Vito Lafata, who's a superstar diamond coach, he did a social media training. And for me, the biggest takeaway was once you find your story, and one thing I am going to do, Dave Ward, who's one of the co-founders of the Men's Beachbody Conference, he shared a 6-page customer avatar experience where it asked you so many different questions that you can use to find out and to bring out your story. And then based off that document, you can really use that to start creating your posts that are tailored towards the answers you gave. That way, you are having conversations with people who you connect with, who are in your market, who will become great challengers and then also great coaches. And Vito, he said he keeps a list of the top 10 problems his market is facing on a daily basis. And based off those top 10 problems, he can put every single Facebook post into one of those buckets, which has allowed him to build his tribe because he posts with purpose and he does it because he knows his story. So for me, over those 2 days, and Steve and Barton are going to share more of the tactics and what they got out of them, the biggest thing I heard was embracing your story, not being afraid to actually share it. And for me personally, that's been my biggest struggle. I used to post the generic motivational quotes and have done things that brought me some success, but nothing that I've really wanted because I have not been willing to share my story and be myself on camera, in person, on my posts. And that's my biggest focus now, is I've been going through this customer avatar experience exercise, which I will be sharing with the group. And I want you guys to do the same thing. I know if you do that, you will start becoming creative with the posts you share and you'll post with purpose. So that's my biggest takeaway. And I believe, Steve, I'm going to mute myself and you can go ahead and jump in.
Okay, guys, can you hear me? Good?
Yes.
Roger.
Awesome. First of all, I mean, just to expand on that, the event was freaking incredible. I mean, it was 500 days, just all being able to just be raw. I mean, there was a lot of swearing on stage, just everybody just being real and being who they are. And I think that's the volume and the excitement that was in the room for those 2 days was just unreal. Carl Deichler, he came out as like a guest appearance, and I've never heard Carl like the way we heard him on stage. I mean, he was raw, he was real, he was just telling it like it is. And I think that's what was just a huge part of the whole weekend. Kind of piggybacking on Sean's thing, that was probably one of my biggest takeaways as well, is just being able to, the importance of being able to share your story and tidbits of your story. What you guys have to remember is we are Beachbody coaches, but we are branding ourselves. So, when you're doing posts and you're learning your story, that's where people are going to relate to you. And that's where, that's where you're going to find your niche, your market. So, you can't, not that you can't be posting about Shakeology and workout programs. We all need to do that, but you need to find ways to share that and work your story into that, because that's what people are going to relate to when you're talking to them. So if you're talking about Shakeology, you're going to talk about what it's done for you, what it's done in your life with the Shakeology post. So the biggest thing is just being able to tell your story, be vulnerable, be who you are, and share your faults, because that's another area where people are going to relate to you. Don't just make everything all peachy dory that, you're always hitting your workout, you're always on nutrition. Be real and, just let everybody know the true you, because the key to this in this business and being successful is just being able to just attract other people like yourself. And that's the biggest thing, is when you can find that, that's when your business is really going to take off. When you find those people that are just like yourself. I'm going to go a little bit further into the whole leadership thing, because someone who really, we all know who a lot of the, I think there was like $12 million earners on stage as far as from the coach's standpoint. But some of our guest speakers, Scott Mann, who really resonated with me, was a Green Beret. And, his mission was to, go into enemy areas like Iraq, and before anybody was there, and basically get into these villages and make connections with the people in the villages and gain their trust to be able to fight against the enemies. And, so they're infiltrating into these villages, have to gain the trust of the villagers and, persuade them, to people who they don't even know, to go up and go to battle with them. And he broke it down into basically 3 different areas. The first one, if you guys want to take notes or writing this down, basically what he had drawn was a triangle, and with a water line through, like the ocean, or a water line going through the triangle. And the top portion of it is a section called Bridging Trust, and the bottom section is called the Bonding Trust. And I'll get a little bit more into that. But basically, the first thing you need to do is you need to know your arena. And what that means is the space and the people relevant to your life. Like, who do you communicate with? Who do you relate to? Who is your family, the people that are close to you. You need to know, like, your team. If you guys are leading teams, know your teams, know their goals, and just basically be able to understand all of that so you can all work towards your common goal. And that's kind of like where the bridging and the bonding trust comes in, because think of it as, your families, that kind of love and that kind of relationship that you have with your families and your close friends, and those bonds that create. That's basically all your bonding trust. What we're doing in this business is we're trying to create a bridging trust, where you're meeting people on social media, strangers in a store, whatever, and you need to gain that bridging trust from them. You need to establish something that they can trust in you to build a relationship with, so they'll believe in you and join you on whatever they're going to be, whether it's on a coaching thing or whether it's in a challenge pack and you working with them and their trust as you and a coach. So that is where your story and everything becomes so important. In it makes you more relatable to people, and it gets you into that, if you want to call it, that inner circle of trust. So, I mean, I really related and dug Scott Mann's story, because I've really made it relatable to our business. And that's the way he persuaded to us, was through a Beachbody business. And that bonding trust, like, which is with our families, and you're either in your tribe or they're out of your tribe, and they're people that, they're your competitors or whatever. It's all in that lower area below the water. And you're trying to gain people's bridging trust to bridge into their relationships. Does that kind of make sense with everybody? You guys following that?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, awesome. The next thing is basically, I kind of covered it in the whole triangle thing, was basically looking below the waterline, meaning know what's going on in your inner circle, know what's all the conflict, everything that's going on with either people in or out of your tribe, because that's going to make you more aware of where you're at and trying to bridge trust with others. And I think his final point from that was lead from the rooftop. And what that means is, and how he related to us, was every single night for like 2 to 3 weeks straight, in the middle of the night while they're sleeping, enemy fires coming in. And the Green Berets, they would get all their gear on and, get their guns ready, everything. They'd climb up the ladder all the way to the top of the rooftop, and they'd start firing away. In the middle of the night, can't see where they're firing. They're firing away, like protecting this village of people. And they did it night after night, day after day, every day for like a week, 2 weeks. And then suddenly one other person, they'll notice fire coming from another rooftop. And here it's one of the other villagers, and they start firing back. And then suddenly another one and another one and another one. And what that means to us as coaches and leading your team is you got to be out in the front. Like, if you want your coaches to be hitting Success Club, if you want to show them on how to be posting and to be building a team, that's what you need to be doing up front. Every day out there, making sure you're doing your 4 vital behaviors, making sure that you're inviting, that you're adding to your network, that you are, even if your team's not following you yet, doing that every single day. You leading by example, because that's going to create the environment that you want your team to be, and have your team follow. And eventually they're going to start. And honestly, you can't worry about what other people think. You have to just be there and do what you need to do to build who you are as a brand. And I think that was stressed over and over again. It's just make sure that you're building your brand and who you are. Don't follow all the other coaches and mock what they're doing. The biggest thing is just be real to who you are and post things that are relatable to you, and implement that into your story. So I would suggest all of you, we all have a story, to know your story, write it out, or Sean's going to have some information that he's sharing on finding that out as well. But know that and share bits and pieces of that in your posts, because that's where people are going to be relatable to you. I'm going to touch a little bit on Gary Vee. I mean, if you guys follow Gary Vee, I mean, the guy's crazy. He's raw as can be. I could probably say he's not a big fan of marketing. He kind of made that known there. But one of the biggest takeaways that I would probably honestly say that I got from him was you have to truly, truly enjoy and love your product. I mean, you really do. I mean, you have to stand behind our products and really believe in what your product is, because it shines through. People can see through that. And it goes back in with our posting, where I'm kind of want you guys to get the picture of, when you do your posts, if you're going to post about Shakeology or you're going to post about a workout, make sure you're relating it to you, your story. Don't just be like, oh, a challenge pack's on sale, $140, whatever it is. You need to tell a story with that, because there's 400,000 Beachbody coaches, and people need to identify with you. They need to know why they should sign up and why they should be with you. And that's going to be your point of difference, is relating your story your why in with your posts. So when you guys are making posts about whatever your Shakeology, your workouts, whatever your daily posts are, make sure that they're genuine and real with what you're trying to portray to. Okay, yeah, Barton's got something if anybody has any questions. You guys, if you have any questions, you can start posting them in the chat, and I'll stop by to answer those. Another thing that he said is complain is when you complain, you have a 0% return on your investment, meaning we all have, the biggest thing going into this conference was from a lot of the guys that we were hearing is, because the women have been killing it in this business for a long time. We all know that. And, but the bottom line is we all have the same opportunity as everybody else. The excuses need to be thrown out the freaking window. I mean, you need to show up, you need to work, you need to fail forward, and you need to put the work in every day because we all have the same opportunities as the next person. And that's just so true. Wear your losses proudly, meaning share your struggles. I kind of talked about that before. I mean, that came straight from Gary Vee as well. Like, make them public. Talk about when you're failing. Talk about when you're missing a workout. Talk about when your nutrition's failing. Talk about that. Make that real. Don't make everything all peachy-dory that you're this coach, that you're on your nutrition all the time. You're hitting every single workout, all of that stuff. Be real. People can relate to that. Bo Eason, that dude rocked it as well. Barton, I don't want to be stepping on things. What are you going to be talking about? You talking about Bo at all?
Brother, you just roll and then I'll catch up.
Okay. Bo Eason, for those of you that don't know who he was an NFL safety, so a professional football player who had his career cut short by a nasty knee injury, and was probably at the time of when he got hurt, one of the top safeties in the NFL. And it wasn't for any crazy, he just lived life abandoned. He was crazy, like a headhunter. He just full 100% passion. And that's what made him so good. And when he got his injury, he didn't know what he was going to do as a career. And he actually was on Broadway for a while, doing like plays in New York and stuff. And now he is a speaker on telling your story. Again, I mean, Sean said it, I've said it. I mean, that's how important, guys, telling your story really is. And he had 3 key points that he covered in telling your story. One of them being, the more personal your story is, the more effective you're going to be in the world. So the more personal you can be, the more real you can be with who you are and sharing not just your triumphs, but your tragedies and your losses and your struggles, the more you're going to succeed in this business. Because again, it makes you real, makes you vulnerable, people can relate to your story. And that's what you want. You want to connect with people that are like you. Physicality was one of the things he talked about. Walking with, it was kind of funny. I mean, the way he did it, walking on stage, but like walking with a presence, with confidence. Believe it or not, when you do that, people feel that. You exude it when you walk. So, have confidence in what you do. Never apologize for, being happy, just walk with, a confident level and present yourself that way all the time. Make that a positive note that you work on. Don't walk like slumped up, down and out. That's the presence that you need to have when you are, because people feel that. Like, and I'm going to tell you something else. When you guys are talking to customers, if you're, walk around the room, you know what I mean? That energy that you have when you do that, like if you're on a phone call or if you're instant messaging someone, they can feel that on the other line. So that's just like your physicality, who you are, your being. Make that strong. Make that presence known to everybody. And then generosity was his last one, meaning basically just give all of yourself all of the time. So just putting it all out there on the line, just giving everything you have, making sure, we all know what we have to do in this business. Honestly, we all do. We know what the vital behaviors are. We know what we're supposed to be doing every day. So, you just got to do it. You got to give it. And there's no reason to, we're all going to fail. It happens to all of us. But as long as you're putting the work in every day, you're failing forward and you're learning from it every day. I think that's all I'm going to, Barton, if you want to take it for a little bit, or if anybody has any questions.
Good evening, Dynasty. Welcome to the call. You got Barton now. You got some energy. Hey, Tyler, Karen, Darren, Garrett and his wife, Michael, Lisa, Phil, Maura, Jennifer, Angela, Jackie, Lisa, Scotty, of course, Erasmo, Erica, Joseph, Melissa, you all rock. You are showing up. You want to achieve success. And how do we know that? Because you're here. You know how hard it is to show up and simply dial in? It doesn't take much effort, but you fetchers did it. I'm just giving you a taste of that, the men's conference. I'm telling you, there was all kind of fetching and shoot and freak and, the other words, but that was all there present for 2 days. It was raw. So let me give you some of my take backs. Who started life as a sperm? I want to know. Raise your hand. Who started life as a sperm? I don't see some hands from some of you. I don't know how you got here. If you didn't start life as a sperm, I don't know how you started it. Let me tell you what. You started life running a race. When you came out and ran up that tube, you were the first person that made it to that egg. You are a runner. You are success. You know how many millions you beat to that egg? Live your life the exact same way. Be the sperm that you began as. Swim your life out. Work this business like no other race. You've already won one race. It's time to win the next one. Don't give up. You started life racing. So that was a Bo Eason analogy, and it has stuck in my head. I am proud to have started out as a sperm. I am proud I made to that egg first. I am proud that I was born. You know how many others didn't make it? How many others have already quit in this business? How many others are not working towards success? How many others are never going to make it to that egg? How many are failures and quitters? Are you one of them? Or will you succeed? Will you create the world that you deserve? Just a little way to kick this off for you. I hope that gets you a little bit excited. Feel you excited? Hoorah, hoorah. All right. So my theme is going to be pretty well consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Every talk that came out was about consistency to me. I could just hear it multiple times. So attract, if you don't have your pen out, if you're not taking notes, you're wrong. In the Army, you know when you're with good NCOs and when you're with good officers because they're taking notes. They've got a pen in their pocket all the time so they can take notes. If you're not taking notes, you're failing yourself. All right. Attract people through consistency. By being consistent in your posting, no matter what platform you're using, whether it be video or Facebook, Instagram, etc. If you are consistent, you will attract people. And if you're consistent with the real you, you'll attract people like you. If you're posting, your business is open. The open sign is on. If you're not posting, it's closed and people are going to another store. Keep business open and post and share and create. Let them see it, and they'll come to you. Be relentless in your own success, because no one else is going to be relentless for you. If you push, if you drive, if you want it, it will come, as long as you're consistent. So I think everyone knows I'm in the Army, 27 and a half, almost 28 now. Come October, I'll be 28 years. I can tell you I've been deployed 3 times. I was deployed to the Persian Gulf in 91. I deployed to Bosnia in 2001. I deployed again to Iraq in 2003 and 2004. And I can tell you there is not one fight that I did not run into. There is not one source that I ran away from. I aggressively sought those people. I should do business the same way that I battle my life. I will never run from a battle, and we should never run from our weaknesses. Run into the battle. As long as you're posting consistently, you will find people like you. Don't try and get everyone. Just get those who are like you. That's all you need. That's all you want. Don't think about excuses. Instead of think about opportunities. Find and create opportunities. Don't find and create excuses. If you're finding and create excuses, you're finding failure. If you're finding and creating opportunity, you're creating success. Consistent, as long as you're consistently striving for opportunity, you'll consistently create success. If you're consistently striving for excuses, you'll consistently create failure. One thing that was said that I grasped hold of, and I think all of us could use it, is he says, when someone asks me what I do, I say, I own a company that markets workouts and supplements. I own a company that markets workouts and supplements. So it still creates, it gives you ownership of the company, and it clearly states what you're providing, as well as the business opportunity. It leaves no questions as to who you are, what you do, and what your business is. To make more money, you must become more valuable. You must provide things of value. Now, I was going to get this to the end, but I'm going to touch it now. I think it was Darren. I think Darren asked, how do you run groups for men? Let me tell you, 50% of the guys up on stage, the millionaires, 50% of them don't run groups. But they still maintain constant contact with their people, whether it's through a text, whether it's through instant message, whether it's through email. They are still contacting them and simply saying, hey, did you work out today? Hey, did you do your 4 vital behaviors? Whatever it is, they're still contacting them. It's just not necessarily always in a group. Groups worked well, it seemed, when they were doing them with their spouses. There was only maybe 1 or 2 that actually did groups alone with other men. So to answer that question specifically, there is no secret sauce. I posted that. You're coming here to learn the secret sauce. If you're here to learn the secret sauce, let me tell you, there is no secret sauce. The only secret sauce is consistency in doing your 4 vital behaviors. There is no secret sauce. There is no secret way to do men's groups. You can do them. You can choose to do them, and they may follow, but it doesn't appear to be very effective. At the same time, if you have women on your team, do groups. Works well for women. It's a great way for women to share and communicate and be the women that they are. You know what? I am not a woman. I'm proud not to be a woman. I have no shame in not being a woman. Why do I need to do things like women do? I don't. I won't. My wife can do that. Lise can do that. Garrett's wife can do that. Jennifer can do that. I don't need to. Make it your own. Make it your way. And if it's not working, maybe that's because that's the way women do it. If you're a man. If you have women in your group, do it anyway. All right. One book that was recommended that I never heard about before is The War of Art. War of Art, highly recommended by quite a few of the coaches. If I feel resistance and if I feel fear, that is what I must do. Again, don't run from the battle. If I feel resistance, if I feel fear, it is what I should be doing, and I must overcome it. I must win that battle. I must fight that battle and win that war. That's my theme, by the way. I'll tell you, let me just off on a side note. Can I tell you, when I was a teenager, awesome was not a cool word. And I can't tell you that it's cool now. I started using the word awesome, and I had some people come up to me and say, dude, that word sucks. You need to stop using it. That doesn't work. That's not your word. It doesn't fit you. I am 45 years old, and I still say that every day, almost every minute, if not every hour for sure. Awesome. That is my brand. That is who I am. And if I'm not saying that because I'm worried about offending someone, I'm wrong. If I'm not saying it because someone's told me it wasn't cool, then I'm wrong, because that is who I am. Who are you? Use you on your posts. Use you on your business building. Attract people like you, and you will be successful because you'll be able to understand each other. You'll be able to communicate. You'll be able to collaborate. You'll have camaraderie because you understand and work together well. So winning the hearts and minds. I know some of you on here are LDS, are Mormon. I happen to be Mormon. I served a mission, and a term that we often use is building relationships of trust. In the Army, we use the term win the hearts and minds. That simply means find things that are in common and build upon it. And as you build upon it, you'll create positive relationships and create trust. And when trust is created, then it's easier to follow, believe, and understand. If there is no trust, if you're simply trying to sell for the sake of selling, if you're only selling because you want Success Club, you're wrong. You're failing. That's just, no one wants to be sold. They want a friend. They need someone that they can trust and rely upon and believe in. Establish yourself in a skeptical tribe. People are skeptical. You can't, when I was in Iraq, if I wanted to come into a town and just think I was going to own it, I was wrong. I would never own that town. I first had to find the tribal leader. I had to befriend the tribal leader. As I befriended the tribal leader, others would then recognize that and come and meet me and choose to communicate with me. As more people communicated with me, other people noticed. And it just continued to build and build and build until I was able to find sources that could give me the information that I needed so I could find the bad guys and the weapons that I needed to destroy. I could not destroy that army if I was the one thinking I owned that town. I didn't own anything. The same thing is the same with your customers and your teammates. You don't own them. You can't control them. You have to befriend them. You have to become part of them, and they have to trust you. Passion, I love it. All right, stand and fight. It will get harder. But as you fight, just like Steve was saying, people will then begin to join your fight. They will be able to believe in your battle and join your brigade, join your team, and want to fight with you because they believe in you. I like this one. What tracks are you leaving on the ground to be found and followed? What tracks are you leaving on the ground that people can actually identify and start following? And as they follow them, they'll find your den. Scotty knows how to track a bear. I bet he could track him with his paws. Scotty knows how to go get deer and elk. He could track them too. If you're leaving telltale signs through your continual posts, people will be able to follow that. If you're not online but you've posted, people will be able to follow that. And as they follow that, they will then follow you to your den. And as they get to your den, then you can introduce them to what it is and who you are. Titanic versus Californian. I didn't know this until this conference, but there apparently was another ship in the ocean. Anyone know about the Californian before I go into this story? Any hands? I didn't know anything about Californian. Oh, we got Jennifer. She's kind of wagging that finger. So the Californian was in the same ocean as the Titanic. The Californian was using everything they had to find ice. And as they found ice, they started broadcasting out to everyone. Hey, there's ice. Watch out. Hey, there's ice. Stop moving. Hey, there's ice. Hey, Titanic, I actually see you. Respond to me. You're in unsafe territory. The Titanic pushed them off. The Titanic refused to respond to them. The Titanic continued to go forward. The Titanic sunk. Be the Californian. Don't be the Titanic. Listen for people. Work with people. And try and assist people. Instead of being the bully that's just going to go for the gold and bowl everyone over to be the first. Don't be the Titanic. Be the Californian. Don't just sell people, help people. As you help them, you'll gain their trust and you will find success. Ideas are worthless. Execution is priceless. You know, all of us do. If you're not doing, you're wrong. All of us do. Look at those 12 chats. Awesome. Steve or Sean, if you'll check out those chats so we can respond to them if there's questions. All of us do professional development every day, or we should be anyway. If you do professional development without action, if you don't act upon the things that you learn, then you're wasting your time. It's worthless. Can I tell you, I've been a coach for just over a year now. I've been able to see Les Brown. I've been able to see Tony Robbins, Autumn, Sagi, Scotty, Gary Vaynerchuk, on and on. It's amazing how many people I've actually been able to be in their presence and learn from. But just being there and be able to say that I was there and get a picture with them means nothing if I don't execute upon the things that I learned from them. The same goes with your profession or your personal development. Learn and then act. If you just create the ideas without execution, it's worthless.
Barton, no questions yet, buddy. Just, you're awesome.
Yeah, you're awesome, Steve. Hey, can I just give it out to Sean here? Sean, can I just tell you, Sean didn't want to get on this call. Sean didn't want to lead this call. Sean's a freaking diamond. He is coming up on diamond. This is his opportunity to shine and lead, and I'm proud of you, Sean. Just wanted to say that. All right, tucked on sperm. All right, so Gary Vaynerchuk, there are two things that he highly recommended that you figure out and start using. He talked about when the price of an item is low, that's when you should buy. Facebook ads and Snapchat. He said, if you're not buying Facebook ads right now, you're wrong. It's cheap, easy, and a quick turnover. I haven't used it. I don't know how to use it. I got to learn it now because Gary said that's low cost, high value. So work on that. Snapchat and Facebook ads. So many of us work on technology. We're used to Facebook and chats and instant messaging and texting. Uh, Technology is the gateway drug to the face-to-face business. This really is a person-to-person business. If we don't create that connection, every one of us had a phone call with Scotty the day that we chose to join. That phone call is what put us over the edge. If he had simply messaged us, the likelihood of any of you being here is probably half. He ensures the personal connection. Don't rely on technology. Technology will get you there, but once you're there, use your personality, your personable skills, and your face-to-face abilities. The quicker you know who you are and accept your strengths, not your weaknesses, will equal success. Don't try and strengthen your weaknesses. If it's a weakness, let it be a weakness. Find your strengths and build upon them. Use your strengths to become stronger and better. Improve upon those strengths. If you want to work on the weaknesses on your own, feel free, but don't try and make that strength don't try and make your weaknesses stronger just for the sake of wanting to be awesome. Fifth follow-up is proven to be the key. It was told a few different times. You at least have to follow up 5 times with the majority of the people before they'll actually hear the message that you're trying to give them and share. 5 times. I'm gonna get to my 3 to 5s in a second, but I love this one. You don't win silver. You're given silver. You win gold. Second place wins nothing. You're given second place. You lost first place. Go into your business with that in mind. Strive to win. Strive for the gold. When your kids go play soccer and they're the losing team, they still get an award, a trophy, a medal. Did they really earn it? Do you really want them to have it? If you have people that are discount coaches that have said that they want to build and they're not building, don't pat them on the back just because they still stay as a discount coach. If they only wanted to be a discount coach, leave them alone. That's great. But if they told you they wanted to build and they're not, don't pat them on the back. Don't give them the accolades that they think they want if they're not running that race, if they're not being the number 1 sperm. Do not reward cowardice, reward strength and execution. I think Steve covered this, but let me just touch on it one more time. So the 4 parts of your story. There's 4 parts of your story. That's the background and the thing that you didn't like about the situation, the solution to that, and then how you're excited about the future. So 4 things again: background, what you didn't like about that situation, the solution that you found to that situation, and how you're going to move forward in the future. Although there are 4 parts, you do not need to share all 4 parts. Only share enough to find common ground. When you're sharing and someone wants to say, "Oh, I understand," quit talking. It's time to listen. Stop your story. They don't need to hear the end. They don't need to hear what you have to say. You need to hear what they have to say. Start listening. Only share as far as you need to. Only share enough till you find common ground. If you try to talk to everyone, you will be heard by no one. By the way, I'm not reading all my notes. These are just key takeaways that I said. I want to make sure people hear this. When you challenge someone, you become the expert. If you've challenged someone to do something and you can't do it yourself, then don't challenge them. I myself have chose to do every single workout that's come out. As it comes out, I buy it and I do it. Why? So when people ask me about it, I can actually talk about it. I need to know my product so that I can be that expert that they're looking for. The 3 C's: courage, conviction, and commitment. Courage, conviction, and commitment. The enemy to success is quitting. If you quit posting, if you quit sharing, if you quit doing the 4 vital behaviors, you will never achieve success. The enemy has won your battle. You have failed. Retreat. No one wants a story. Instead, listen to theirs. I just covered that. I won't go any further. Show up as I am, not as I think I should be. Don't be who you think people want you to be. Be who you are. And as you are, can I tell you, most of you have seen, I've been sharing about brigade. I'm talking to all my team as if they're in the army. I'm talking about winning their battles, and I'm talking about their enemies, and I'm talking about their weapons, and the different weapons are like the 4 vital behaviors. I mean, I'm using terms that I understand, and it's amazing how on my team page, they're all reciprocating. They're all using the terms that I've taught them. It's become part of the vocabulary as they're identifying with me and with their way forward. People don't want to know how much you know. They want to know how much you care. Again, quit talking, just listen. Money isn't the why, it is the result. So yeah, we had a few millionaires sitting around us, but that was because they gained the results of their why. I love this one. Beachbody is job creation and healthcare. It is Obamacare. Everyone will die, but not everyone will live. And I've got 2 more pages, but I'm not going to cover them all. Let me just end with this. What time are we at? 1847. So the key is 3 to 5, 3 to 5, 3 to 5. I think most of us have heard this, but 3 to 5. You must do, if you truly want to achieve success, as far as numbers go, 3 to 5 coaches every single month. 3 to 5 of my coaches hitting Success Club every single month. 3 to 5 posts a day, and 3 to 5 friends added a day. If you stick to your 3 to 5s every day, every month, you will find and create success. Many of us have heard about the 10X Rule book. It was highly recommended. If you're not going to read the entire thing, at least read chapter 6. So if you don't have the 10X Rule book, find it online and jump to chapter 6. Skip the rest. I'm sure it's all good, but chapter 6 apparently is the bomb. Coaches can only do 2 things: succeed or quit and give up. Now, which one are you going to be? Make going to work a choice. I could keep going on. It was such an awesome opportunity. I'm thankful I took it. Can I tell you, there was a guy there. He only had $11 to his name. The only reason why he got there is because he borrowed his sister's airplane mileage to get there. He was sleeping in a car. He wasn't even in a hotel. He literally had $11 to his name, but it was so important for him to be able to grow and learn from the group that was there that he went anyway. I ask you, what are you giving up to be on this team? What are you giving up to ensure you're successful? You guys are awesome. We'll open up this to questions unless Sean or Steve had something else to cover.
Barton, I think you covered it, buddy.
We got 10 more minutes. I could keep going. What you laughing at, Lisa? Scotty, you want me to keep going, or you have anything you want to say?
That's great. That's awesome, guys. You guys were awesome. I have a sick kid, so I was in and out helping with a kid during the call. But thank you guys for sharing and sharing your insights from that call. So that one thing you said at the very end, like, what are you giving up to, whatever it is that your why or your goals are. I think that's an important thing, because as I think back to my journey, just to kind of help you guys close this out and remember, like I think a lot of times people forget some of the sacrifice that you have to make if you want, like, for example, if you're needing to make this full time, or you need to get out of your job, or whatever it is, if you have something serious like that, you've got to really look at what you're doing with your life and ask yourself, like really take accountability for everything you're doing during the day and say, does this activity lead me towards my end purpose and goal? Right? So obviously you can't cut out all your family time, because part of your purpose is to keep a good, healthy family. So you got to have that. So you can't let that one go, obviously. But there's other things, like for me, it was playing Call of Duty and ranking up. And it was playing softball, because a softball game, for example, took 1 hour and 15 minutes plus the hour before, getting ready, getting the kids in the car, driving there, stretching, playing, and then coming home is like a 3 hour, 2.5 hour ordeal twice a week. So I had to just ask myself, like, I love playing softball, but I had to ask myself, is it more important that I play softball or that I work on my business so I could bring my wife home? So when you say that, Barton, it really made me think back to that thing about if your activities align with what your goals are. So thank you guys for sharing that insight.
Can I share 2 more things here? It was on my last page, and I think it's important.
Absolutely.
So the guys that are not running groups, it was impressive how many of them actually just lead with the business opportunity versus the fitness opportunity. And one of them actually spelled out, because I lead with the business opportunity, this is how I do it. First, he searches for complaints. He's listening for people or watching for people on Facebook or etc. that are posting about complaints. Then he contacts them and works with them, and his questions are, number 1, are you happy? And he'll listen to them talk. Then as soon as he hears the complaint, he says, do you have a plan to fix that? And most likely they're not going to have an answer as to how they can fix their own problem and fix their complaint. Then the response to that is, I have a plan that can help you with that. Are you willing to listen and try it? So they have a problem. They have a complaint. You have now identified that they don't know how to fix it, and you respond with, I do. Let me help you. How can anyone turn you down from that? That was something I'd not heard before, and it's an easy way to lead with the business opportunity. And I won't say avoid the fitness side of it, because it's essential to do that, but not lead with that.
Awesome. Cool. I wrote those notes down. I'm going to talk about that in our Coach Basics chat, or with our Emeralds tomorrow. So anyway, we'll end this call out. You guys are, what's the word? Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for hopping on the call tonight. And this call is recorded, so once it processes, I'll upload it. I'll share it in the team pages. So if you have any coaches that you feel could benefit or find value from this, make sure to share it with them, follow up with them, and let them know about it. And let them know about our call next week as well. I'm going to just prep you guys real quick for what we have coming up on a team call. I have, I'm just making sure I get the date right. On not next Thursday, but like next Thursday, we'll have a team call, and I'll be leading that. But the following Thursday, on June 9th, we have an awesome elite coach, David Atkins. He's an elite male coach as well from another team. He's going to be on here teaching. He's with the police force in New York City and built his business to an elite coach, and he's going to be talking with us there. So I'm going to always try to get awesome people in front of you guys like Barton, Steve, and Sean, and make sure to give them a little thank you if you got some value from them. and let them know that you appreciate them sharing with us tonight. So love you guys. Let's go out and let's go change some lives. We still got like 5 to 6 more days left in the month to achieve your goals. So really look at the people around you, especially during Memorial Weekend. You know, talk to people about their life, because that's what you focus on is celebrating someone's life. And so talk about life with people and about your life plan and how you can help them in their life. So love you guys. Let's have an incredible week, and we'll see you in the team pages. Bye.